So yeah, I went to school for I have a major in a program called television film arts. It's actually a pretty prestigious program there. Only 15 students get in a year, at least when I started. And I started the very first incarnation of it, but there were all these newspaper articles about it, just like, and I applied, and I was like one of like two or three freshmen to make it. Like, I got it. Just like, yes. And now, as if you saw my Walmart video, you know that I don't work for Walmart. No, that's gross. I occasionally have to work at one as a beverage merchandiser. I stock beer and soda and seltzer water all day, and I make probably more money doing that at 18 an hour than the average millennial does that has an actually applicable college degree. So it was the best decision of my life. Me and my parents literally are on the same kind of page. We were just like, I show up at 30 Rock. I slam my television film arts fucking degree on Lauren Michaels' desk, and he's just like, oh, well, you're replacing Colin Jost on Weekend Update. Just like, you're right, motherfucker. And granted, I graduated in 2013. When did Colin Jost become head writer at Weekend? Derailed already. All right. So, but it was a lot of fun. It was really cool, and I made some stuff, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. But things were awkward at times because, like, I was so weird and different to every other, like in all my TFA classes compared to my things. I'm just that weird, awkward kid where my whole thought process is, when is someone, one of these guys going to pull out a gun and shoot me already? And their whole thought process based on my sort of antisocial behavior is, when's he going to pull a gun out and shoot everybody already? Just like that kind of guy. It didn't start out that way though. At first, I was, a typical dude. And it was also hilarious because, I was the super quiet, just like reserved, couldn't make eye contact to save my life or talk to anyone. And they would see me outside of class getting stoned and drunk with my friends, having a gay old time. And I would just take a quick peek, be like, hey, it's that one douchebag. They weren't all douchebags. A lot of them were douchebags. And the confusion was just like, nah, it's like if there was a chocolate, if you were sitting in front of the chocolate waterfall at Willy Wonka and just sticking your tongue out, the confusion on their face, just like, he's punking us, isn't he? Almost, but not intentionally. And so I was just super weird and awkward, and then the reason for that though is what happened is it all came to a crux. I was acting normal, and then I know exactly when I just became a total just shut down social weirdo to these guys. I was doing this film with these, like, we had this class where you help make 4 short films, and you like rotate between like writer, director, producer, and some other thing that they just made up. And I was directing the film, and it was about a skeleton that came to life, and there was a Halloween party, and people were like, oh my god, look at this guy's amazing skeleton costume. Turns out he's an actual skeleton. I mean, move over fucking Nolan and Oppenheimer, right? And I didn't, I was assigned director. Now, we all kind of know what a director is. I didn't even kind of know what a director was then, and we didn't like draw up any scenes or anything else like that. Like, it was just like I just showed up, and I'm just like supposed to fucking take this god awful garbage screenplay and turn it into gold. And I have no idea how the fuck this happened, but literally they got like 20 people to show up in Halloween costumes in November. Like, I don't know who did this. I think this was just all a very dark, elaborate plot. And, so I completely just, like, just felt folded and the whole thing, and it was the most awkward display ever, and I just couldn't, after that night, I just couldn't talk to anybody or anything like that, because I was just so just embarrassed and shit. And, so let's think about that night, the night of the shoot. But let's rewind just a couple hours earlier. So I'm hanging out at my friend Jamie's place, and I get a call, and I it's like the LCD sound system song, "Someone Great." I knew exactly before the first syllable came out of my mom's mouth, just based on like sort of the just the very the dog whistle like subliminal, just sort of like crying in her throat, that my cat was dying, and now is the time to come home and visit. And she was my best friend since I was 6, and I have a video about her and how hilarious her name is, because I thought it was a he at first, as we all did, and I always thought BJ was a cool name, just phonetically and stuff like that. And so I had a cat named, which he gets jealous when I talk about BJ, because it's like which, and she's half asleep and she knows I'm talking about another cat. She's dead and has been for a while. Yeah, no, that was my cat was dying, but I was living off campus, or off campus both, as far as the family campus, and I was living in an apartment of my own. And so I would go home on weekends, and I would visit my beautiful kitty cat, and she died in my arms. Like, I knew that her time was nigh. Just like, essentially they gave her like a little cat hospice in my old bedroom, and I hope that that audio was captured. Which I she's the goat. Anyway, and so I got home and she died in my arms. My cat, my pet, like my spiritual animal that helped me get through life. It was just like, they could tell that she's just limp but still breathing and, active. And I get there in the nick of time. And like within like 10 seconds, I'm just cradling her and she passes. And it's insane, you know what I mean? And I even drove back to camp it to my apartment later, and there was a cloudy sky except for this one big wide opening. This is an absolutely true story. And a fucking cloud that looked like a cat, as in like, hey, clouds look like things, except they don't. This one did. Evaporated exactly up into the hole in the sky and became one with it. I watched my cat die and then go to heaven. And I was expected to come direct this stupid fucking movie. So I called the guy that wrote the movie, and my group was like, I can't do this. Just do it without me. I can't fucking do this. My cat died, blah, 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 blah. And it's just back and forth forever. And then, of course, I show up there, and I am having a very real 3-hour long panic attack the whole time I'm trying to hide from everybody. And so this is why I ended up being super awkward and stuff, because I'm just like, I just the anxiety from that night and just the whole memory of the day. It's just like literally, everybody. I'm in charge of this whole movie that I don't remember half of what the script is, or why we decided to go, to pick, like, whatever. Like, why on earth we ever thought that when it was his turn to be writer, we were just like, we're gonna ghostwrite this like Taylor Swift, right? Gotta end the T Swift joke. And yeah, so I show up eventually, of course. And but I'm still, I mean, I'm having a panic attack from the second I walk in there. And I go up to him and I tell him, like, look, I cannot do this, man. You just do without me. I'll even tell the professor, like, you can give me a 0 for this. I cannot direct this fucking stupid thing right now. My cat died. She was my best friend. I am just not doing good. And his response was, well, You know what? That's what cats do. They die, and then you get another one. Yeah, you know what? Humans die too. Do you want a demonstration? Oh, and the guy had kids. Fathers die too, but then you get another one. Like, so he fucking like and yeah. So that was worth in my parents' eyes about $140,000. I think it was, or something stupid like that. But um, it's a very prestigious major. It is actually it's one of the best like filmmaking majors you can get. You just have to be very good at collecting little poop stains on your nose to go anywhere with it usually. And uh, I made comedy videos, pretty much exclusively. Whenever there was a video that I wrote or anything like that, it was always funny, or a sketch or a script or whatever. But sometimes people would make even funnier videos. The funny thing about those videos, though, is that they weren't supposed to be funny. And yet, it's the funniest and saddest thing fucking imaginable. Um, I'm gonna do a part 4 because the video is literally the whole setup for this, and it's just been like 45 minutes of nothing but else but fill up and stuff, setup and filler for the actual part. This is supposed to be a bit about that video. It is 10:48 in the morning, and I am posting this on the internet. And this is what a college degree gets you.